Shalom. Pastor Hawk coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. And I'm going to entitle this video, this is for GMS members only. And the whole world will be tested and other topics. Anyway, I was watching this video. You can see I'm at the almost 6-minute mark of a almost 1 hour, 59-minute video. And Spirit jumped on me to do a video myself. I gotta watch the rest of it. The title of the video, as you can see on the screen, MOTB and End Time Topics. The last deception that the beast, the dragon, serpent, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. The last deception is the MOTB. Anyway, I urge you to watch this video. And the reason why I gave the title that this is only for GMS because, and other Israelite groups, certain other Israelite groups out there, they're like a Sakari, because they see it, they clearly see it. But the rest of them, maybe there's a few more, but the rest of them don't see it and they speak against it. And they're going to have to do a lot of explaining to their people, because when it actually comes out, you know, when you go back year and a half, 2 years with the, you know, the Crown Vic and the big deal that they made your life difficult. You couldn't, you know, you had to be in the house by 8 o'clock at night because it was more dangerous at night. There's less people, you know, if there's, you know, 1,000, you know, 2,000 people in a certain radius, let's say a mile, I'm just throwing numbers out. At night, it would be 10% of that. If it's 2,000 people, it'll be 200 people. So they say it's spread by person to person, or it's carried through the air, or it's vector borne. So there's less chance of you getting it. You know, they just played y'all. So they had you locked down. They had, you know, you wear, you know, masks and so forth. And then you realize when you went to go get something, you know, go shopping, you had to wait on a long line, number one. You had to, you know, when you went to get the products that you wanted to get, there was a lot of empty shelves for some reason. And then when you cashed out, you had to get on another long line. So if you normally go to, I don't know, a supermarket or whatever, you know, to like a Target or something like that, where they have a supermarket in there. These Walmarts and these the Walmarts and the Targets and the wholesale clubs, you know, the Costco's and the BJ's and the Sam's clubs. They always had food, but the majority of the things that they sold was not food. You know, with things, chair, furniture, TVs, whatever. And when you deal with Targets at one time, it was just, you didn't have a so-called supermarket, because you know what they realized? They said there's going to be a time where people are just going, the most important thing is going to be food. You know, people ain't thinking about buying a flat screen TV. That's why the prices go down. That's called deflation. Got high inflation and deflation. People are mainly buying food. And the things that are bare on the shelves are food items. Certain your favorite food items, you might be out of it. You know, the baby formula, it was short. Now, this is all done by design. Pretty much everything that you see on the news, your favorite news channels, it's done by design, in my opinion. For the most part, it's done by, there's things that actually happen, but a lot of major things that happen are done by design. because it's an agenda to lead up to the last deception of the beast. As a topic right there, the last deception of the beast. The last deception of the beast is the you know the MO to the TB. Now this dumb, stupid, fat head black bitch. Yeah, black bitch looks like a real. They're just dummies. And then you find in our house the level. There's levels to stupidity, and they reach the bottom. Okay, this is like a skit from the Daily Show that was put up last year, this time, 2021. It says MOTB employees in Wisconsin, because remember Wisconsin, the was a 3 square market. You can look that up. How they got the they got the MO to the TB, so they can purchase things, right? And it was voluntary. So this is like a skit on that. And the boss put it in his left hand, and then I believe she put it in her left hand and realized she put it in the wrong hand. I should have put it in the right hand. And she's out there in the woods bugging the hell out because she doesn't know what's going on. That black woman is the biggest embarrassment out there. And don't interview a black woman on the news. That shit is embarrassing, man. Unless they're a so-called expert. But anyway, the last deception in Revelation, parts of Revelation 20, other parts, is what we here at Great Millstone been talking about. So I urge you to watch this video right here. And let me do this. Okay, this right here, let me click on this. I saw the middle of it. Okay. This is Tim Cass, IRL. This video was put up today. And it was from a live that he probably did a couple of days ago. So he just cut it up, made it a 21 minute, almost 22-minute video. So I was like 10 minutes in. You should watch this video. Tim Cass, IRL, on YouTube. Major economic collapse is coming. Recession or even depression is about to hit the U.S. And we're pretty much already in a depression. You know, there's a technical term for recession and a technical term for depression. But watch this video because they say certain things. I'm surprised they didn't take this down. They pretty much broke down the you will have nothing and be happy about it. Because when everything, their plan is, when everything's said and done, you will have nothing and be happy about it. In other words, whatever they give you, you're gonna be happy to get it. You know, it's just like you put somebody in prison and you don't feed them for 3 days and you give them some crappy ass food on the 4th day, they're gonna be happy to eat it because that's all they have. So that's what that means. You will have nothing and be happy about it. You're gonna have whatever we give you, whatever we decide, that which is a social credit system. Or another good thing to watch. Let me see if I can bring it up. And this is what their plan is. Let me go here. Okay, bear with me for a minute. There's a thing called predictive programming. Predictive programming, right? Look that up. I may go into it later. But anyway, let me see if I can remember the black mirror. How do you spell mirror? Well, I believe it's I. The Black Mirror airport. Airport scene. Airport, not airplane. Airport. Airport scene. Let's see what comes up. Okay. If you didn't watch this, Black Mirror, was it season 3, episode 1, airport scene. Okay, you see the white woman, you see Edomite, so-called white woman. You see this demon right here. This is Satan's daughter. That's Satan's daughter right there. That is Satan's daughter. And they're gonna have you Jakes working the system, this new system. The Great Reset, you're gonna have Jakes, Okay, so you're gonna have Jake's lockstep. They're gonna do what they gotta do because they're gonna have nothing and be happy about it. And what you get in this new system is based upon your credit system. So okay, so it says here Black Mirror, season 3, episode 1, airport scene. And that's all you got to do. You don't have to watch the whole episode. Just watch that scene, right? It says Black Mirror, no said Dave, airport scene, and okay, this is somebody analyzing it. So maybe you should watch that. I'll watch that myself. Black Mirror, Lacey rates co-worker, social credit system. Where have you heard about a social credit system? I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, but watch this one, the first one, watch the second one, watch the third one. And let me go to social. Let me go to this one right here. Bear me for a minute. I'm gonna look up social credit system. Okay, social credit system. And then in a minute, I'm gonna get into third Maccabee. Yeah, you heard it right. Third, you go to that gate, they go off. There's demons in it. Well, we're gonna go into it. Let's see. You're familiar with first Maccabees, second Maccabees, but there's a third, and I believe there's a fourth Maccabees. So we're gonna read out of that. Just like you got the Josephus. The Josephus is not a divinely inspired book, but we use it, right? Okay, let me see how I'm gonna do this. Let me click on this. And by the way, these shortages and gas prices shooting up, and y'all were bitching about the food prices. Right now, you're really bitching about the gas prices. But you know who's really bitching? These truck drivers. In order for you to, if you own an 18-wheeler, the only gas you can use is diesel. That's what 18-wheelers, Big Macs, Mack trucks and so forth. They use diesel. They can't, if there's no diesel, they don't go nowhere. So this is all a part of ultimate plan. You have nothing to be happy about it. So now let's look up credit system. It said the social credit system is a national credit rating, and I experienced it. I experienced the social credit system. If you drive for Lyft or Uber, you rate the person. They'll ask you now. They ask you, did the person wear seatbelts? From they give you credit whether you happy. And I give everybody a good rating, right? But every once in a while, they don't like maybe something that you said, or you were a little late, or whatever the case, or you might have said, you might have had a child come in there, and you tell them, look, you got to make sure the child is buckled. Or if it's a smaller child, you can just they don't have a child seat, you can get on them with that, and they argue with you. So if you let them in, they're gonna give you a bad rating. So it's gonna affect you. So the social credit system is already here, but it's big in China. Okay, so it said the social credit system is a national credit rating and blacklist being developed by the government of the People's Republic of China. And that's a model for what's coming over here and around the world. That's why they made you wait on a long line. They made you wear a mask. They made you wait on a long line to get in the store. The certain products you couldn't get because certain things, the shelves are empty. Getting on the line to cash out. And then, oh, we don't accept cash. We're out of coins. So you need a credit card or a debit card, a bank card, right? If you don't have that, you're asked out. So this is what they're getting you used to. Money's gonna be based on a digital system. Then they kind of pulled it back. They're not even talking about the Crown Vicky too much. They kind of mention it, but then there's other variants, and then you got the monkeypox and this thing, and there's a whole reason why, if this is actually true, why are there so many diseases out there? There's a reason for that, and it goes back to Esau. Esau is to blame for that, right? They said the program initiated regional trials in 2009 before launching a national pilot with eight credit scoring firms in 2014. So, these Moabites are looking to leave China, man. You see how many people are leaving California? Everybody and their mom is going to Texas, Florida, but Florida is super expensive, man. It's like Manhattan. You got a lot of people moving out of New York. You got a lot of people going to Texas. And Texas wants to break off secede, that's the technical word, from the Union. So if they do that, they'll have their own money system, their own army, their own everything, which the US government doesn't want to happen. And that's your Satan being defied against Satan. He cannot stand. There's a perfect split between the Democrats and the Republicans. So there's the red and the blue. There's a complete split. So what did our Lord say? If a kingdom be divided against itself, it cannot stand. If Satan be divided against Satan, it cannot stand. A house divided against itself, it cannot stand. So we know that this system is going out. Okay, so now let me do this. Okay, this is the commentary, right? Commentary, Revelation 13, verse 16. And they're going to tell you what it means, but they're not going to tell you. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. Okay, so let's go to Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges. Okay, so to receive that they give them a mark, right? The word mark is not the same as in Galatians 6, verse 17. From now on, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahushua. Now that word mark is different. You know what I'm gonna do? Galatians 6 and 17. Let me just go to that. Galatians 6. Because you read the Old Testament, you come across the word mark, and you go in the New Testament, you come across the word mark, and you think it means the same one thing. No, it does not. That's why you got to understand some Hebrew and some Greek. What is that? Galatians, what is that? Galatians 6 and 17. Galatians 6 and 17. From henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahweh Shai. So then let me look up the word marks. The word is stigma. Now, if you live in a project, and you know, there's certain women that you know that's in the projects that are straight up hoes. She done had sex with half of the men in the building and half of the women in the building. So if you deal with her and you cool with certain people in that project, they're gonna let you know, oh, she the biggest hoe in the building. So what did you do? You put a stigma on her. Not necessarily a physical mark, right? It says from a primary stigzo to stick, i.e. prick. That could be literal or that could be figurative. The girl's a hoe. She's got a stigma on her. What's the stigma? She's a hoe. Okay, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body, the ancient, which, like I said, it means a physical thing, but it also means, let me do this. Okay, it's only in there one time. Let me go to the root. There's no root. Stigma. But this ties into the charagma anyway, right? So now let's come back over here. Where am I? Cambridge. Okay, a mark, the word, because the actual word in Revelation 13 is charagma, all right? Which the root is charax. It says the word for mark is not the same as Galatians 6 verse 17, but the images as that of the brand put upon slaves to identify them. So what is that charagma, Revelation 13:16 all about? Is to put you inside of that system so they can track you, so you can buy and sell with it. And when you buy and sell, it's not going to be, they're going to do away with the you know, the money system that we understand. Everything is going to be based on digital dollars. The what is it? What is it? I keep forgetting. The bank currency system. I keep forgetting about it. The central bank digital currency, CBDC, central bank digital currency. And digital meaning you're not going to have a wallet no more. You're not going to have dollar bills. You're not going to have coins. Everything that you're going to have is going to be in your smartphone, which ultimately is going to be in your charagma. So when it says no man can buy and sell, except they have it, because that's everything else is going to be done away with. Paper dollars are going to be done away with. And basically, most of the stuff I deal with is based upon digital dollars any damn way. Most of my payments that I deal with, except for rent, but I'm pretty sure I can have that paid digitally too. But everything else is paid from my bank. As long as I got money in the bank, that bill is going to be automatically paid. And then you get like a digital receipt on your email. So let me read that again. Let me see. The word for mark is not the same as Galatians 6, verse 7, which is a stigma. But the image is, and it's like I said, the stigma could be a physical thing or a literal thing or a figurative thing. You know? Oh, don't lend money to that dude. He never pays his. He never paid me back, man. He never paid me back. You can ask Joe over there. Nah, that nigga, he asked for money. He tell you gonna give it back. He never gonna go. Guess what? He got a stigma on him. That doesn't mean you physically put something on him and you know, oh, I ain't got the money. I can't help you. Maybe next week, because there's a stigma on him, like the big hole in the project. And trust me, there's big holes in the projects. But the image is as there that of the brand, now this is a physical thing, put upon slaves to identify them. So ultimately, when you come up under this system, you're ultimately going to be a slave to the N to the W to the O. So that's their plan. And that's their the great reset is about what? Okay, pagan devotees sometimes receive such a brand, making them as the property of their God. Now, when you take this brand, this mark, this stigma, whatever you want to call it, this charagma, the Most High is not going to deliver you. The Most High is not going to deliver you. You can't take it and at the last minute, oh, let me pull it out. Okay, that's bullshit. If you got that on you, you are not going to make it. I don't give a damn. Well, I've been teaching the truth for 20 years. I've been on the highways and the byways, and I had to take it because my family, I got kids. Well, guess what? You and your kids and your woman, then you're not going to make it. And you can't repent. That's why I said this is only for GMS. This goes over the heads of the IUIC. This goes over the heads of the ISUPK and any other group that can't see it. And I believe the reason why they're pushing it, because they can see it. Anybody, CB1 can see it, man. And the reason why they're going against it is why? Because I believe, I can't prove it, that there's some backdoor deal that went down to push it. Why do you think General Yohana said, go ahead and take the vaccination? Because I believe somebody gave him something to make that statement. Now he's going to answer. Now he's going to have to answer to his people. That's why I said, going back to the topic, this is for GMS only, something to that effect. It said, the property of their God. So if you take that stamp of approval, that tattoo, whatever you want to call it, the Most High is not coming to. I don't give a damn. Oh, Lord, save me. How shall I save me, Lord? What does Matthew 7 say? What was that? Matthew 7:21. And that's a commandment from the Lord. In the so-called third book of Maccabees, like I said, there's a third Maccabees, third Maccabees, and there's a fourth Maccabees, which, stupid as it is, has perhaps some historical foundation, because what's in the Apocrypha? What's in the Maccabees? The Maccabees is not necessarily a prophetic book. It's a historical document, right? Of the wars between the Maccabees and Antiochus Epiphanes, okay? It's more historic. You get into the Maccabees, it's in the subject of history. We are told that Ptolemy Philopator ordered the Jews of Alexandria. Now that's Israelites that lived in Alexandria, Egypt, to be branded with an ivy leaf. Now these are Israelites. They kept the law, statutes, and commandments. They didn't understand Revelation chapter 13. So a lot of them took it, but they still prayed to the Most High. It said the cognizance of Dionysus, which is a god of the Greeks, one may compare also the sealing of the servants of the Most High in chapter 7 and Revelation 14:1. Let's see what Revelation 14:1 says. And I looked and see a lamb stood on, I guess these letters are small, on a Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Now that's not an actual seal that the Most High is going to put in your forehead. That's in your mind. That's, you learn these scriptures, you get that invisible mark in your mind. What is that? Ezekiel 9:4. So let me look up the word Dionysus. Let me go to the Apocrypha. Put in the word Dionysus. Okay, Dionysus is not there. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to in Greco-Roman religion, Dionysus is a natural god of fruitfulness and vegetation, especially known as a god of wine and ecstasy. If sex has to do with ecstasy, right? But what was the other name? Damn, I can't think of the other name. There was another name that was given that's actually in was Dionysus born female? Dionysus. Bear me for a minute. Other names for Dionysus. Bacchus, there you go. Dionysus, also spelled Dionysos, also called Bacchus, or in Roman, Liber Pater, and Greco-Roman religion, a nature god of fruitfulness, vegetation, especially known as a god of wine and ecstasy. You know what ecstasy is, right? You want to open up a woman up, you give her some wine, some intoxicant, and she opens up. So let me deal with the word, okay, Bacchus. Let me deal with the word Bacchus. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, I got to spell it a certain way. Let me try it again. I'm sorry, let me do it this way. Bacchus. Bacchus. In the apocrypha books. And put apocrypha. Bear me for a minute. Okay. 2 Maccabees 6, verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices And when the feast of Bacchus, which is Dionysus, was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to uh, Bacchus, carrying ivy. Keep that in mind. Second Maccabees 14, verse 33. He stretched out his right hand toward the temple and made an oath in this manner: if ye will not deliver me, Judas, as a prisoner, I will lay this temple of the Most High, even with the ground, tear it down, and I will break down the altar and erect a notable temple unto Bacchus. Let me try this. Bear with me for a minute. I don't know why it didn't come up. Oh, let me do this. I'm sorry. Let me modify it. Let me go to the Apocrypha. That's why it didn't come up. The two scriptures, what came up? Second Maccabees 6, verse 7. I just read it. Second Maccabees 14, verse 33. So now let's come back over here. So when you take that, you know, that thing, the MO to the TB, it's reminiscence of going back to Dionysus or Bacchus. So now this is what I found out. Let me see. I hope I didn't. Where the hell is it? Let me try it this way. Okay, I'm back here in Cambridge, right? We are told that Ptolemy Philopator ordered the Jews of Alexandria to be branded with an ivy leaf, the cognizance of Dionysus or Bacchus in first and second um, Maccabees. One may compare also the sealing of the servants of the Most High in chapter 7 and Revelation 14, verse 1. I think this is it. So this is Jameson, Fawcett, Brown Bible Commentary, so-called Christian scholars. So you can't say, oh, you guys, you Hebrew Israelites, you really don't know the Bible. You're just making it up as you read it. No, but the scholars say the same thing that we say. So we ain't making it up. It says to receive a mark literally. What does it say? To receive a mark literally, as opposed to figurative. That means they're going to actually put a physical mark in you. That they should give them a mark literally, not figuratively, such a brand. Give me a sec. Let me do that again. 16, as in the 16th verse, Revelation 13, verse 16. Right, it even says it right here, Vincent's word studies. A mark, and the word there is charagma. It says 16 verse, to receive a mark, literally, not as opposed to figuratively, that they should give them a mark, such a brand, which is physical, as masters stamp on their slaves. So when you take this charagma, behind all that, you got to work. It goes into worshiping. But if you worship it, if you're part of this system, you know, you join the military, right? You got to take an oath. You got the last step that you got to do. You can sign all the papers that you want, but at the end of the day, you put your right hand up and you take an oath, and then you take a step forward. Because I have friends that did that, and the elder, Yahweh the Bar, I believe, Yahweh Gabar, of the brother from the camp out there in Hawaii, which he led me to do this video any damn way, right? This is not this subject can never go out of style. So we always bring it up. It says, and then like I said, this is why I labeled it, this is for GMS only, because these other guys, if they're watching some of it, they're gonna turn, I don't wanna hear this. And their followers, their zombies, are gonna do the same thing, because who do they listen to? Who do they respond to? They respond to their leaders. That's it. If their leaders say GMS is going off, then they're not gonna listen to them. And guess what? When it comes time when they set up them charagma stations, that's when some of them are going to go ahead and take it, being the zombies that they are. And some of them are going to wake out of that zombie state and they're going to question that. And a lot of them are going to bug out. You see through the years how many guys fell off and how many guys bugged out. It says a stamp. So this hasn't changed. The stamp is still here, but it's more scientific in the best way I can say it. And monarchs are their subjects. So your God's going to be the state, but ultimately it's going to be the spiritual demon Satan, the angel on the left-hand side, the head angel on the left-hand side. So this is a serious time that we're living in, man. And when you get this thing, you're going to get cancer. Soldiers voluntarily puncture their arms. If you join the military, you have to take an oath. You can't just join the military, you know, and not sign no paperwork, not make no oath. They showed you that with Ali. They showed you in the Ali movie when they said, okay, take an oath. Okay, now take one step forward. So everybody took a step forward, but Ali stayed there. So they pulled him to the side. And then they threw him in jail. Then he had to go to the Supreme Court. You can use that case today. That's the number one case to use for a conscientious objector. Ali versus the army. That's in the Supreme. It went all the way up. That's another thing that made Ali great. His case, Ali's name went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they ruled in his favor. Give me a sec. It goes on to say, with marks of the general under whom they served, votarizes of idols branded themselves with the idol's kipher or symbol. That thus Antiochus Epiphanes branded the Jews with the ivy leaf. So what are they going to brand you with today? Now with the ivy leaf, they're going to brand you with the charagma. You know, the C to the H to the I to the P. The symbol of Bacchus, 2 Maccabees 6, verse 7. Didn't we read that? 2 Maccabees 6 and 7, and 3 Maccabees 2 and 29. So what I want to do is I want to go to 3 Maccabees 2 and 29, and I did pull it up. Let's see if I can find it. Bear with me for a minute. Where the hell did I put it? Where the hell did I put it? Oh, this is the video to watch. Put in Commander General on the Sarnetta, one of the Sarnetta pages. Commanding General Yohana here to set the record straight. I believe that's once and for all. And in there, he tells you to go ahead and take it. And where the hell is it? Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's click on it. Okay. Okay, this is 3 Maccabees 2, verse 29, right? Trying to do away with this here. Okay, 3 Maccabees 2, verse 29. And by the way, the Maccabees, like I said, is a historical document. So you can't jump up to, oh, you going off. We don't deal with 3rd Maccabees and 4th Maccabees. It says here, okay, this is the Revised Standard Version, right? Those who are registered when you join the military, when you join anything in Esau's world, when you get a job, you got to register, right? You got to do paperwork. Are also to be branded on their bodies by fire with the ivy leaf. What does it mean by branded with fire? If you become a part of a fraternity or sorority, more so a fraternity, you got to get a brand. Or that goes back to the Greeks. So you had Jakes that are part of a college, and they become a part of a fraternity. I'm talking about the men. Sorority is a woman, and that's where you got the whole boule. You can go into that. That's a whole different subject. These Jakes that are on top, they're up there equal to Esau. Them people are insiders, man. And they went and they became, they went to colleges, top colleges, and they received brands and they joined fraternities and sororities that come from the Greek world. So Jake wants to be Greek. They call them Black Greeks. You watch the movie School Days. with this guy, Spike Lee. That's a great movie because it shows you how those fraternities and those sororities work in those colleges, man. And the shit that they do. And a lot of times you go through initiations and you drop dead. That's always in the news. They tell a guy you got to drink a gallon of vodka. That's part of your test. And they wind up suffering from alcohol poisoning, overdose on alcohol, and drop dead. But nothing. And then they talk, we got to close this fraternity. No, you ain't gonna close that shit down because that's part of your spirit. The old Greco-Roman way. That's why when you went to school, third grade, fourth grade, whatever, second, third grade, what did they start teaching you? They started teaching you Greek philosophy. They had you see Greek movies of Greek heroes, and they had you learn the Roman alphabet. They had you learn the Roman number system and the Roman alphabet. Because what is this? This is Rome all over again. We're back in Rome. The school system is based upon Rome, even up to college. Like I said, they set up all these major school systems have secret societies. Like at Yale, there's a whole bunch of secret societies, and the number one secret society up there is the what do you call that? I haven't talked about it in such a long time. The Skull and Bones, and they tell you, like, if you go to famous people, let me do this. I'm sorry. Let me do this. Skull. And it's actually double L and a K instead of a C. Skull and Bones. Famous people let me see what happens. List of Skull and Bones members. Let me do this. Famous Skull and Bones members. What do you see there? The 13 most powerful members of Skull and Bones insiders. It's just a fraternity. That's all it is. Look at that. George W. Bush, George H. Bush, William Howard Taft, John Kerry. And both of them said on, what is this guy, news guy, John Kerry said, yeah, he's a member, he said it on TV, national TV. He was a member when he was running against Bush. He said he's a member of the Skull and Bones. And then they had Bush, baby Bush on there. He said, yes, I'm a former member of the Skull and Bones. Look, one of the Rockefellers. You can't be an average Joe and be a member of the Skull and Bones. You got to be part of a high up family. So now, let's go back over here. Please forgive me, I'm a little all over the place. It said those who are registered are also to be branded on their bodies by fire with the ivy leaf symbol of Dionysus or Bacchus. And they shall also be reduced to their former limited status. So you have a status that you can go. You can only go so high. They give you a rank. You get the ivy leaf, and you're at a certain status, which is a caste system. So the same thing is going to happen, but this time they're going to give you a digital ivy stone or ivy leaf, excuse me. It says here in the CEB, whatever that means. That's another translation. It said those who are registered are to be branded on the body by fire. They had like a, what was that, iron or whatever, they heat up and you feel that pain. Sometimes your arm gets, infected. With the ivy leaf sign of Dionysus, and are also to be assigned to their former limited civil status. Like you got Jake and the Boule. They'll allow them to go so high. Okay, you're gonna go so high. You'll be able to marry a white woman, you get a mansion, you'll live like us, but you're not gonna be over the bushes. You're always gonna be under them. You'll never reach that status. That's what that's talking about. So now in closing, let me just read the famous scripture. Revelation 13. '15th verse. And he had power to give life unto the image. The image is not Caesar Borgia. So when Bishop Nathaniel says that's a picture of Caesar Borgia, he don't know what the hell he's talking about. The image is talking about the ancient Roman system. This school system that we came up under, like I said, 3rd grade, 4th grade, you taught about Greek civilization, and you taught about, Roman numerals and certain Roman things, and everything based in this country. If you want to be a doctor, those different medicines, a lot of them are based on Greek, Greek and Latin, mainly Latin. All the planets up in space are named after Latin names, Greco-Latin names. Jupiter, which is Zeus to the Greeks. The equivalent is Jupiter, which is the Roman Zeus, so to speak. Mars, you got a thing called Mars Hill in Acts 17 chapter, which a god name was Eris. Mars Hill, Mars Peak. There's a planet called Mars, and Mars comes from the word war, to do war. What else? Venus, that's Latin. Jupiter, I mentioned Jupiter. Saturn, the Saturnalians. When you worship the Sabbath on Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, you're really worshiping the god of Saturn, which is makes you a Saturnalian. So it says, Revelation 13, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. What does it mean? It goes on to say, whose deadly wound was healed. So they're going to give you an actual image. It will be an image of the Roman Empire. Let me show you that. It ain't talking about Caesar Borgia, because Caesar Borgia never came back to life. It's talking about the ancient Roman system. Okay, so image, right? Image is spoken about or written 5 times. But it only shows 3. Okay, 14 verse. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. Now you got to go to Revelation 20. They were able to deceive the world after the 1,000 years were completed, right? That goes back to Christopher Columbus. I say that all the time. Sound like a broken record saying it. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, their technology, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, do we not dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast. In other words, come up under the system of the ancient Roman, were likened unto the ancient Roman Empire. An image, when you go to the word, the root of the word image, icon, that means to be like. Like somebody plays like Michael Jordan. Well, that's, you might say, yeah, boy, is it the image of Michael Jordan or his son. He's the spitting image of his father. And that doesn't mean that he necessarily looks like him, but he plays like him. He does what his father does. It says to the beast, what is the first beast? The Roman Empire, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Caesar Borgia didn't receive a wound by the sword and then came back to life. There was a Roman Empire. The Roman Empire is here all over again. When they had the meeting at the meeting to bring the EU together, which EU is part of NATO. At the meeting, it was called the Treaty of Rome. And you read the quotes that came out of the Treaty of Rome, they were saying, we are just like the Roman Empire. We are just as powerful, or we will be just as powerful as the ancient Roman Empire. So they were telling you that they were Rome coming back to life. When was the deadly wound healed? When they had the meeting to bring NATO together and bring the EU nations back together. And there's a reason why they're all European. Ain't no Chinese nations among the EU, African nations, Arab nations. They're all so-called Edomite nations for a reason. It says 15 verse, and he had power to give life unto the image. The image is what? The system. In this system, you had back Roman Empire, you had a Senate. Here you have a Senate of the beast. We know what the beast is. The beast is not a picture of Caesar Borgia. That the beast, that the image of the beast, which is the Roman system, not Caesar Borgia, for you dummies out there, should both speak and cause that as many, because they have spokespeople. You have the Congress, you have the presidents, you have the Supreme Court, as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. They cut you off. They bring sanctions against you where you die. Then it speaks about two horns, right? A lamb came up speaking as a dragon. Dragon goes back to the word. That's where you get the word draconian. Look that word up. It says, and he causes all, both. This is getting ready to happen. This has not happened. Well, it is happening on a small scale, mainly in Sweden, but this is getting ready to happen on the whole planet Earth. Revelation 3, verse 10. Everybody's going to be tested. So you have to hold fast. And what does it mean to hold fast? Hold fast to that was given to you, which is the truth. And part of the truth is not to accept this thing. So you got some Israelite groups that are going to say, go ahead and accept it. And you're going to have zombies that blindly follow them. They're going to go ahead and do it. And they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. And he called us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a what? A mark. The word there is charagma, which is a literal physical thing in their right hand or in their forehead. It could be left hand if you're in Europe. And that no man might buy and sell, because it's going to be based off of a digital system, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And it's based upon what? 666. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.